Good day and welcome to SCO BRICS Insight, where we look at what's really going on in the world of the BRICS. Now today I want to talk about Donald Trump and his threat against the members of the BRICS. Now, prior to even taking up residence in the White House, Donald Trump, the new old US president, has made a statement that is tantamount to declaring a currency and trade war with the countries who are members of the BRICS. Now, we all know that Trump is used to making outlandish and outrageous statements, so this one is so over the top as to be totally laughable. I mean, the notion that BRICS countries are attempting to disassociate themselves from the dollar while we remain passive observers is not going to happen, the President-elect's statement says. And he appears to be saying as a bit of an ultimatum. He says, "We require assurances from these countries that they will neither establish a BRICS currency nor provide support for another currency with the intention of displacing the position of the US dollar. In the event that they fail to comply, they will face 100% tariffs and lose the opportunity to sell their products into the US market. Let them seek an alternative solution. It's inconceivable that the BRICS countries will become a dominant force in international trade, and any nation that attempts to do so will inevitably face the consequences." Now, anybody with an ounce of intelligence and common sense has to respectfully inquire as to why, given the perceived strength of the US dollar, Donald, are you pursuing a policy of coercive imposition? Now, if you've followed Donald Trump in the media in the past, you'll know he has a tendency to assume that any issue can be resolved with a single decisive action, such as issuing an ultimatum. Now, Trump has recently made his intentions clear. He's threatening to impose 100% tariffs on goods from BRICS countries if they decline to use the dollar. Nevertheless, this course of action is merely declarative in nature. It is not feasible in practice. Now, those of you with an understanding and knowledge of currencies and economics, I've never seen anything like it before in the past. I mean, let's be honest, no previous president, either Truman, Nixon, Reagan, Clinton, or even Obama, made appeals to foreign entities to maintain the use of the dollar in international trade, because it didn't need to, it was dominant. But then again, they didn't actually use, well, apart from Obama, the dollar as a weapon. Now, it's worth remembering that Nixon was behind the introduction of the petrodollar that cemented the US dollar for oil sales and then for other commodities trade. Now, before I continue, I'd like to make an appeal. If you like and enjoy my videos, you can help me fund the channel and my website SCOBRICSinsight.com to further develop it. You can do this by making a small donation, which you can do by clicking on the thanks button at the bottom of the video screen. Everybody who donates does get a personal thank you from me, and I'm thanking you now for watching because I appreciate every viewer. Now, for decades, the majority of the world's population has been paying in dollars for everything due to the convenience factor. The stability of the dollar has been a significant advantage as it reduced the dependency of local currencies and a hedge against inflation. There was a general sense of satisfaction. There was even a saying, "I'm not a dollar, so I'm not a universal currency." However, there was a time when greenback was packed by the assets of the most powerful economy in the world. I mean, for example, in the second half of the 1940s, 60% of global industrial production was concentrated in the United States. Currently, the figure is 4 times less than that, and it's half as much as China now. It's not even worth further comment on the national debt of the United States, which has ballooned to 36 trillion. Now, the United States' share of global GDP has reached a new all-time low, dropping below 15% for the first time. And Trump's threat of 100% tariffs against BRICS members represents a significant escalation in his approach to trade policy. He's targeting an economic bloc that accounts for 35% of global economic activity in purchasing power parity terms and over 40% of the global population. I mean, the United States has significant economic reliance on the BRICS, and President-elect Trump is going to find it challenging to influence the bloc through intimidation or even trying persuasion, and that's according to the veteran British economist and global justice movement co-founder Rodney Shakespeare. He said, the United States has a trade deficit of 433.5 billion with BRICS member countries alone. It's notable that none of the BRICS partner countries and its candidates for membership, which are 35 in total, have significant trade deficits with the US, while several have trade surpluses like China. Vietnam, a potential partner, had a surplus of over 109 billion in 2023. There's also a number of key questions surrounding the backing of the dollar by real assets. Not only there are doubts expressed by individuals, but entire countries are questioning the dollar's value. Saudi Arabia, for example, has not renewed its long-standing commitment to sell its oil only for US dollars. Many Asian countries' exchange offices will apply a lower exchange rate to old $100 bills. In Turkey, old dollar banknotes have stopped being accepted altogether. The United States government has also dealt a significant blow to the value of the dollar by seizing Russian assets held in dollars and forcing the European Union to do the same. Now, in response to this, the majority of countries began developing their own digital currencies. And while there's risks involved in that are likely to be less significant than those holding US dollars. Now, the BRICS countries have said they have no intention of undermining the dollar. They're leaving the undermining of the dollar to the Americans themselves. With their current policy of cutting off countries to access the global financial systems like SWIFT, they are done to Russia and Iran, both BRICS members. So they're the ones destroying the dollar, not BRICS. Its decline is going to have global implications, but not only for the United States, but the entire world. However, countries are left with no alternative but to adopt a policy of exclusively settling their transaction in national currencies. Trump's indicated his intentions to impose tariffs as retaliation, but that's going to significantly detrimentally impact the lives of millions of ordinary Americans who are going to pay more for their imports while the vast majority are having trouble paying for their own American goods currently. So, what's really going to happen? Well, it's not feasible for the United States to engage in a trade war with the world's largest economies that include India, China, Brazil, Indonesia and the Gulf states. Similarly, it's not realistic to assume that these countries want to engage in a trade war with the United States. That's not what they're up to. But that said, the United States is unable to prevent the BRICS countries from transitioning to mutual settlements in their national currencies or from developing an alternative payment system to the SWIFT. It's also unlikely that the American economy will be able to withstand a symmetrical response to the increase in duties and tariffs. Now, there was a time when high technology, particularly from America, was a scarce resource. Now it's widely available and in superior and more cost-effective forms around the world. Manufacturers from around the globe will seek to capitalise on any niche that the Americans leave unoccupied in order to take advantage of it. And this phenomena is evident across a wide range of products, from soybeans to liquefied natural gas, from jeans to motor cars. The United States remains a wealthy and intriguing consumer market. However, it's important to recognise that its consumers cannot indefinitely dictate prices to sellers by exerting undue influence. Vendors will just simply cease trading with them unless they resort to more aggressive tactics, which is what we've seen with countries' invasions, etc. It will appear that Mr. Trump's actions are having a detrimental effect on the dollar. Now, what can we expect from BRICS countries? Will all the parties cease their current activities and redirect their efforts to support the ailing US economy? Very unlikely. What it seems probable is investors will seek to reduce their exposure to the US market, and this process has been underway for some time, even among Washington's closest allies. What we're seeing now is a growing interest in the BRICS from European countries and NATO members, and these include Hungary and Turkey. As anticipated, the Trump administration will impose tariffs on its so-called European allies and all their imports into the US. This will probably get a swift response from the Europeans, some of them will, as I say, look to join the BRICS. At the same time, trade with third countries, for example, with the United States. The BRICS countries have no intention of abandoning the dollar, which significantly undermines the rationale between the measures announced by Trump. I mean, Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, has previously stated that it's premature to discuss the possibility of creating a single BRICS currency, and there are no plans to do so. Putin explained that the creation of a common currency would require greater integration of the economies of the BRICS member countries and a greater degree of economic similarity, which just doesn't exist. He also highlighted that 2/3 of Russia's trade turnover is serviced in national currencies with the BRICS countries, and it's reached 88% with China. I mean, the largest countries in South and Latin America and the global South are leveraging the BRICS alliance to reduce their dependency on the United States. I mean, even Mexican economists are advising their government to consider joining the BRICS alliance. I mean, I'm not sure whether Mexico is really doing that, but that could be just the start. I mean, the former governor of the Reserve Bank of India, Devuri Subbarao, said that Donald Trump's assertion regarding potential sanctions against BRICS countries are baseless. I mean, Subbarao highlighted the fact that the measures also lack any legal basis, given the uncertainty surrounding the applicability of 100% tariffs under US law in the event of the rejection of the US dollar. Subbarao also made the following observation. Trump is well known to make threats that he may not be able to carry out, and yet it's not clear whether he will follow through. Is it just more bluster? So what criteria will the US use to determine whether a country has effectively ceased using the dollar? It's not really clear. I mean, whether US law allows sanctions against countries that abandon the dollar, and what actually is abandoning the dollar. I mean, analysts say that a hypothetical single BRICS currency could protect countries from dollar dependence, but that political and economic situation has not yet been created. So Subbarao believes that the member countries of the association are not yet ready to achieve a common currency, and the Brazil's foreign ministry has stated its views in statements made by Trump regarding the introduction of tariffs on goods from the BRICS countries as abandoning the dollar as both meaningless as provocative. So that's the kind of situation on Trump and his pronouncements. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe. And if you want to help me, click on the thanks button at the bottom of the screen and make a donation. See you all again soon. Thank you.